Welcome to Module 4, Researching for Your Business. In this presentation, we're going to go over the main 4 areas that you're going to be researching for your business in regards to determining the feasibility of your business. There are some key areas or concepts that are going to we're going to need information on to determine a organization's feasibility. The one thing to understand, and one problem a lot of students run into, is the idea that doing the research is not easy. There isn't a book or a list of places that I can say this is where you're going to get all your research from. And it's important for us to understand exactly what information we need to find, in that we don't take any shortcuts to get that information. In accounting, we talk about garbage in, garbage out, meaning that if we're going to be doing projections and we just throw some bad numbers in there, it doesn't matter if we do the projection process correctly. The idea is that the only way we're going to get good, solid information is if we spend the time to put that information in there. The areas of research that we're going to be looking at are going to be the area of understanding the market in 2 different ways: the customers and the trading area. We're going to look at operational research. What is it going to take for me to run my organization on a day-to-day basis? And financial research. What are the financial ramifications? How do I determine my break-even point? What are my startup costs going to be? And what's my 5-year outlook going to be? The first item we're going to look at is the market and the customers. There's a couple things we're going to be looking at in this area. Who exactly is going to be purchasing our product? Where are those people located? And why do they want our product or service? When we talk about identifying and locating our customers, there's a couple questions we need to ask. And these questions fall into 3 different categories and generally aren't easy to answer. If you find that these questions are easy to answer, you haven't done enough research to answer those questions. Who is going to buy your product? Where are your customers located? What is the health of the industry? Those are 3 items that we're going to be looking at. We talk about the health of the industry. What are the trends going forward in the industry? Now let's look at the movie rental business. Now I can track the movie rental business back 25, 30 years. Okay, 30 years ago, VHS had kind of beat down Beta at the time. There's 2 different players in the market. VHS became the dominant one, and now everyone had video rentals. And when I mean everyone had video rentals, everyone did video rentals. Where a majority of people got their movie rentals from was the local grocery store. A lot of grocery stores dedicated a big portion of their store to movie rentals. There was an occasional rental business on corners that just did movie rentals, but the dedicated rental store really wasn't a major component of the industry. Well, as things started to grow, there was some competition. Laser discs came. They were supposed to be the next great thing. They came and went. Then the idea of what now or what we have seen to become a blockbuster, the dedicated rental place came to fruition. Well, as the dedicated rental place came to fruition, they kind of put out the local guys the local grocery stores, the local stores that had rentals. Well, for a good time, we're mid-90s now, we're moving into Blockbuster was kind of putting everyone out of business. And no one could ever see that anyone would compete with Blockbuster. What happened to Blockbuster? Well, ideally what happened to Blockbuster is the industry changed and they didn't adapt to it. Technology changed the industry. Competition changed the industry. So now we have technology. I can get movies online. I can go through my cable box and get movies. That changed the industry. So if you're getting into the industry, we can't just look at it as what is the industry today? What is the industry going to look like 5 years from now? How is technology affecting the industry? Now, regardless of the type of industry you're going into, there is going to be a trade association for that industry. Now, one business that I'm looking at researching is a car wash business. There is the International Association of Car Wash Operators. They have an annual conference in Las Vegas every year. And so regardless of what industry you are in, there's going to be a trade association that's going to have this information for you. We look at the customer component. Who is going to buy our product? Well, now we need to look at a couple important key points. Generally, we're going to classify or what we call market segment customers in one of two different ways. And this data analysis is either going to be called demographics or psychographics. Now, demographics is when we talk about the statistical characteristics of a population. Psychographics are attributes relating to personality, values, attributes, interests, or lifestyles. When we think of demographics, we think of areas that are easy for us to identify. You could fill out a survey to get demographics. And really, that's how the biggest demographic study that is done in the world is done every 10 years in the United States. It's called the U.S. Census, where you can click boxes and we can get numbers from you. I can go in any different community, search by zip code and tell you how many males live there, how many females live there. I can tell you what the ethnic background is of the population there. I can tell you what the average salary is. I can tell you the employment status. I can tell you the educational background of everyone who lives in that community. That's what we call demographics. On the PowerPoint slide here, under links, we have a couple different links that will help you identify the area of demographics. Now, there's a site that is pulling information from the United States Census Bureau called Zip Skinny. And what Zip Skinny can do is I pre-populated this to show the zip code that I live in. Okay, so under 53405, pull the information up, and now it's telling me where the backgrounds are. As you can see here, it will tell me that what the household income is. So the largest chunk of household income in the zip code, 50,000 to 75,000 basically, is 24.7% of the people. We're saying that 3.3% are unemployed. Now, this is obviously, we know the unemployment numbers have changed since this has been published, but this is probably going back. This is probably pulling out 2005 information, I would think, or based on 2000 census. Okay, so this is going back year 2000. Now, the problem with the census is just that. It's such a big undertaking, it's only done once every 10 years. So you kind of have to take some of the information with a grain of salt because it does change. And so many of these income numbers have changed. Obviously, unemployment has changed. They're saying at that point in time, 6.5% of the people were below the poverty line. We're saying the median household income is $45,000. Here it says green. If the term is green, it's below the United States average. If it's red, it's above the United States average. Here under the actual demographics piece, this is telling you what the ethnic backgrounds are, what's the age group breakdown. And now I can compare it with other zip codes in the area. Or I could say, well, let's see how different is it compared to the location of Gateway's Kenosha campus. And so I put the 53144 zip code in, and I can get comparison. There's more people in the zip code. There's more housing units. I can compare graduation levels. I can compare household income. All numbers that I can quickly compare. United States Census. Now I can get more up-to-date information than I can get from Zip Skinny. And so let's see what information I can pull off. And I should be able to pull information from the 2010 census. Okay, so it's saying that the 2000 population for zip code tabulation area, so that's the information we just looked at. The 2010 information is not available yet on this specific website. They will, on the Census Bureau, they will put in sometimes 2005 information as estimates. But for the most part, the Zip Skinny information was pretty much pulling from the information that you'll find here. The benefit to the Census Bureau site over Zip Skinny site is the fact that I can get a lot more detailed information from this site. So if you're looking at population, salary, where are people moving to, you can then do a comparison between 1990 to 2000 and 2010. And so now they have some 2010 maps available based off the information. Obviously, there's a ton of information for them to cull through, so it takes a while for them to get all the information up. And this is where we'll pause the slide presentation here, and we will continue to go into this more detail on part 2 of the presentation.